What are the common types of child custody and visitation? What types of child custody and visitation frequency? Joint physical custody. What types of child custody and visitation frequency? What are the most typical arrangements for visitation and custody? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Best Law Blog. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Best Law Blog. What types of child custody and visitation frequency? Child custody, joint physical custody. What are the most common forms of child custody and visitation? And perhaps the most frequent forms of detention preparations. Child custody is not so simple as the media exhibits it, and custody disputes, so now it isn't solely the ultimate end result to offer the mom custody of the kid. In conditions the place the daddy and mom are divorced, single, or reside away from one another, the issue turns difficult. That is why many dads and moms who are excited about divorce pick out the worker of a kid custody lawyer who may also help them with any legal disputes and the battle to retain custody of their little one. Most of the United States of America guidelines define custody as one or each the mom and father of the impact of duty for the welfare of the kid. Physical custody is the one who often seems to be once they speak about custody. This refers back to the place of a kid in life and on a regular basis foundation, which could be given to at least one guardian or each. Legal custody is the one linked is the case, and this refers back to the correct to make vital selections a couple of little ones similar to training and well-being care. Every state within the private legal guidelines refers to household issues together with little custody. Contrary to the well-known perception, the household courts now don't help a mom or father for some other motive. The idea of gender and a courtroom is not a push type of detention throughout a. There are numerous forms of custody and visitation privileges accessible in most little one custody conditions. These are the next, as described. Joint bodily custody. In situations, the place the widespread crime of custody is granted by a decision, the child broke down between the two dads and mom. Toddlers can keep every with the guardian for a set time frame, which authorized the kid to spend equal time with every guardian. Joint legal custody is not confused with the circumstances in the place a guardian has custody, however you take care of the rights of others. This type of little one custody is finest fitted to dad and mom who's capable of working previously them in numerous eventualities and making selections collectively for one of the best interests of the child. Joint legal custody. Neither guardian is given the choice by the judges in terms of making the selection for one of the best pursuits of the kid. However, in sure circumstances, the courtroom docket can provide a guardian with the vitality to make a particular alternative for the kid, relying on numerous components. This type of custody should not be confused with shared physical custody, in which the child spends the same amount of time with each guardian. Instead, the joint prison detention is on the idea of oldsters desirous to make a joint election with regard to the kid. Joint custody is a term that can refer to either joint legal custody or joint physical custody, and it is frequently used interchangeably. Sole custody. A courtroom also can make one of many dads and moms accountable for the kid's primary life selections, which can additionally embrace training, well-being care, faith, and settle for welfare. It doesn't counsel that each father and mom are barred from making selections collectively. Nonetheless, sole custody is often granted by the choice circumstances in place. It'll trigger plenty of conflicts to do that, such because the circumstances within the dwelling the place the violence occurred. Under the law, in little one custody, the mother or dad, with single detention, can select on their very own, even when it goes in opposition to totally different dad and mom's needs. Visitation. Visitation often refers back to the non-custodial guardian being able to parenting time. Although babies can stick with the custodial guardian, they will nonetheless talk with the opposite guardian over a set size of time earlier than the assertion by the courtroom. It largely relies on the particular details behind each household scenario. When a decision to determine a time frame, they may contemplate the dad and mom's work schedules, The safety of the kid at the first little one care institution, the school locations, in addition to the will of the dad and mom/little one to determine in Umrah schedules. However, even when the kid is allowed the long pilgrimage of time with a guardian, it does no longer imply that the mom or the daddy retains any degree of custody. Supervised visitation. When determining the Umrah, there are a lot of circumstances in place. The protection of the kid or the custodial guardian is the issue of the decision. It is widespread in dwelling violent instances, the place the toddler ought to not depart alone with the abuser. In order for the selection to grant monitoring Umrah, detention, or that should present why it's important. Specific statistics behind every scenario can even determine how lengthy and the way frequent monitoring visits might be. In addition, the mom and father usually are not required to pursue custody or Umrah of their kids in the courtroom. Some dads and moms are concerned that the courtroom and the machine can add extra stress or monetary burden. If the mom and father are on pleasant phrases, they get to be told alternative concerning the detention or Umrah of your little one. However, if there's a future dispute about custody or Umrah of the contracts, the daddy and mom can nonetheless flip to the courts to resolve the issue. There is no perfect solution to the issue of child custody when going through a divorce or separation. Similar reasoning behind the courtroom choice involving custody of the youngsters. Father and mom take care of the issue of area needed priority concern over the selection that may permit the kid to reside in a wholesome way of life. This recommendation may give a guardian holding sole custody or joint legal custody of the kid. Whatever you eventually determine, do not forget that your toddler will expertise a large-scale share of the impression of a kid custody choice. This video disclaimer. This video tutorial has been making for information and interest purposes only. The information contained within this video tutorial is the opinion of the author only, and should not be construed as legal advice or used to make legal decisions. Consult the best legal professional in your area if you are seeking legal advice.